Welcome to the July update. It's July 3rd, and I'm gonna give you a tour around the 3 plants that I still have growing and the 3 pumpkins that have started. Since I last updated you, it's been a bit of a challenge. I have a really busy overseas work schedule this year, so I just completed my 4th trip to Japan for more than a week. So relying on automated watering and everything like that for over a week at a time is a struggle, but I'm grateful that I still have stuff growing and nothing catastrophic. It's not like I've lost a plant entirely, but I did have some issues. I had a irrigation problem. One of the drip emitters popped off, and so it just free flowed water, and so I was basically not watering for the majority of my trip on 2 of the plants. So I did suffer some heat damage. Luckily it wasn't super hot while I was gone. I have one more trip still, so we'll see how it goes. But let me show you the plants and how things are going. So first up is the 2560 Ginger. Here's the plant. I'm starting to train these secondaries around to go forward and sort of pitchfork and fill out the rest of the patch. You can see, definitely some heat damage on the plant, but it's starting to grow out of it. Like the new leaves look fine. You can see the pumpkin over there. I'll walk over and show you the pumpkin. But yeah, plant health overall, other than the heat sensitivity, which is partially due to lack of water there for a bit, is really good. So I have the plant, I think, to push a good sized pumpkin. Let me walk over and show you the pumpkin. All right, here it is. So this pumpkin is 22 days old today. It's still estimating under 100 pounds, which is pretty small. But as I've been telling myself, my 2465 last year was only 66 pounds on day 20. So this is actually smaller than that, but the growth rate's decent. Like it's picking up 10 to 12 inches a day right now, which at this age I think that's good. I like things that I like. It's got a really good, I like that it's longer than it is wide. It's got really good sized shoulders. I don't love that it kind of tapers down in the front. I think that'll really develop as it grows into kind of a funny shape. So it doesn't have much of a butt, but it's got really good texture, and you can tell it's swelling and growing pretty well. It has been showing a lot of stem splits that then just heal up, and it's done that a number of times. They do go into the pumpkin body a little bit, but then they heal up. So I'm optimistic. I'm just gonna let it ride. So this one, there's really no debate. This is the one I'm gonna go with, and I'm in it for the long haul with this pumpkin. Let's go to the next plant. All right, this is the 2465 Dawson, not the 2465 Sperry that everyone's growing. I have a backup right here. Really like the shape of the backup. Kind of looks like the 2465 last year. I like it better than the main pumpkin over here. This is the main pumpkin, about 23 days old, still just under 100 pounds, nothing special. Definitely a very kind of like ribbed pumpkin shape. It has 2 things I dislike. One, it's not very long. So that length versus width, it's about square. I like them to be a little longer, or ideally be a little longer. And it has, I think, the smallest stem I've ever had on a pumpkin, which is going to make vine management as it grows a real pain in the butt. So I am debating still pulling this one for that one, but it is grown well. I think 13 inches last night, and the plant is great, and is continuing to grow well, and I'm going to start filling in this space. So we'll see. Oh, one other quick thing. I made a stupid move, and see that scar right there? When the pumpkin was teeny and I was putting the board underneath it, I was repositioning the board. As I lifted the board, it made a big old scrape across the pumpkin, and so that'll be a huge scar. I don't think it's a problem, but just an annoying reminder of my dumb mistake. All right, let's look at the last plant. And last but not least, the 2177 Ford, probably my second best plant. This thing looks great. Also had some heat sensitivity, but it's kind of growing through it. Same story here. Secondaries are getting trained forward now, and some are being terminated. And this is my ugly duckling. So it will be orange, which is nice. It's 18 days old today. About this, bigger than a basketball, but not by much. And what I don't like about this one is it's got that kind of shrunken look in the back, and kind of, this, like, it looks good here, and then it's kind of like sort of stippled, bumpy texture. And let me see if I can show you there. Like, look at that shape. It's kind of like maybe would end up being sort of pear shaped. I don't think it grows out of it. And I just don't have a backup on this one. I mean, I have one over there that's like a day old, and I have a couple of options over here. So, I could keep going with that one. I just don't think it's going to amount to much. So it's a lot of effort for something that I don't think has a good positive outcome. I'll still make a big pumpkin, but not what I'm aiming for. Or I take a gamble on a late pollination over here, something better. And, best case, I have like a 95 to 100 day pumpkin all the way out at the Half Moon Bay time frame, which could work. The California state record, I think, was only 97 days old. So it's an option. So TBD on what I'm going to do here. I haven't decided, but it's a bummer for such a good plant. I really have two pumpkins that I'm not very excited about the shape. But I'm happy with the plant. So it is what it is. That's the June 3rd update. I guess in summary, my report card is it's really difficult to grow these things when you're not around them every day. So all this work travel I knew it was going to be a tough year no matter what. But I can't blame it all on that. I think some of it is just the luck of the dice with it when it comes to the pumpkin shapes. And also maybe they grow out of it and maybe it ends up, turning out to be okay. We'll kind of know closer to the 30 days after pollination. I'm more interested in what's the growth rate at that point. If I see a good growth rate and the curve is pretty steep, like, the 2465 last year, and then everything is kind of on pace. If not, then, by that point you kind of know you're probably not on path for a personal best. But the positives are the plant, despite all the travel, the plants are all in good health, and I feel pretty dialed in terms of the setup and the watering and everything that I'm doing there. It just really comes down to are the pumpkins gonna go or not, and we'll see. So probably in the next check-in we'll have that answer.
And that's what you want to see. Mole. Gotcha.